This is the Board of Trustees regular meeting. It is July 9th, 2019 at 7:30 PM. It is meeting number 2019-13. Please take the roll.
President Barry?
Here.
Trustee Desmond?
Here.
Trustee Phelan?
Here.
Trustee Vorder?
Here.
Trustee Mallow?
Here.
Trustee Stalker?
Here.
Trustee Olenichek?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thanks. Would everyone rise for the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. We have quite a few public comments this evening. I'm going to start with Mr. Jim Garrett. Jim is with the Chicago Southland Convention and Visitors Bureau. Jim, you have 3 minutes. If you could state your name, let us know if you live in Oak Lawn.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Jim Garrett. I'm president of the Chicago Southland Convention and Visitors Bureau. I do not live in Oak Lawn. Sometimes I wish I did, but we're delighted to be here. I want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to visit with you. We've had an ongoing long-term partnership with the Village of Oak Lawn, the Oak Lawn Hilton, and basically we're here today to discuss the continuation of that partnership. I would like to extend an invitation for all of the board members, trustees, to join us, if possible, next Wednesday at the Oak Lawn Hilton. It's on the 17th at 5 o'clock. We have our quarterly Board of Directors meeting, at which time our staff gives a big picture overview of what we do in the last quarter and a lot of the projects that we have currently in our pipeline, including new product development projects. So with that, I look forward to having you come with us. By the way, one of the things that we will be doing, the Oak Lawn Hilton has successfully hosted a number of our events, and this year our annual meeting is scheduled for October the 3rd. We invite you to join us then. Governor Pritzker is scheduled to be our keynote speaker, so we hope you'll join us for that. So with that, let me give you a quick note. This is just a quick note about the meeting on Wednesday. By the way, it includes dinner. It starts at 5 and we're out at 6.
Thanks, Jim. Thank you.
Give it to him.
Okay. Is that your comment, Jim?
Yes, that's
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Next is Sally Schlesinger, and Sally is also with Chicago Southland Convention and Visitor Bureau. Sally, welcome.
Hello, I'm the Executive Vice President with the Chicago Southland Convention and Visitors Bureau. We're the official destination marketing and management organization for the entire Chicago Southland. And one of our main missions is we're the national outreach for marketing and selling hotel rooms. And the most important part of that is all of our funding is based on hotel motel tax. So when you hear the words tax, everybody thinks it's on the residents, but it's the people staying in the hotels that are paying the tax. We receive over $1.5 million from the state of Illinois. All those dollars come from hotel motel tax generated in the state. To receive those dollars and use them regionally for all of our towns, our 63 municipalities in the Southland, the state of Illinois requires that we also have our local municipalities that have hotels participate with paying a portion of the hotel motel tax to us. One of the things that kind of gets lost from way back in the beginning of time, when the Local Tourism Convention Bureau grant program was started by the state of Illinois, back then, none of the municipalities collected a local hotel motel tax. The first hotel motel tax collected in the state of Illinois was to represent the state grant. Then, as time went on, communities went ahead and added additional tax, their local tax, that goes into their general fund. So everybody benefits the higher the occupancy is. And we're very fortunate to have the Oak Lawn Hilton as one of our properties that we do an outreach on a national level, because one of the things our hotels locally can't provide for themselves is that national outreach. And that's where the state of Illinois understands the return on investment in tourism, because people don't go just to a hotel to go to a hotel. They go there for a purpose that they were brought into the area for. So that outreach is important for us. With doing that, they come into our hotels, they spend the night, they eat in your restaurants, they get gas in your gas stations, they spend time and effort. If any of you do any kind of like youth sports or whatever, you see families traveling around with the youth sports groups and everything. So it's true economic growth. We're bringing outside dollars into the area. And we're just very grateful that you gave us an opportunity to be here tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sally. Next is Mary Pathin, also with Chicago Southland Convention and Visitors Bureau. Hi, Mary.
Good evening. My name is Mary Patchen. I am the Director of Sales with the Chicago Southland Convention and Visitors Bureau, and I'm just going to touch for a couple minutes on what we do in the sales department. As Sally mentioned, a lot of our resources go to attending trade shows outside of the state of Illinois. We attend approximately 30 trade shows every year, actively selling the Village of Oak Lawn and our hotel partners in the communities around here in the Chicago Southland. With that being said, our focus is to bring meetings, events, sporting tournaments, and group tours to the Chicago Southland, staying in our hotels, eating in our restaurants, and using our service stations and shopping in our stores. So with that being said, some of the most important groups that we have booked actually came from those trade shows. In fact, I have a client flying in from Washington, D.C. that I met at a trade show last year, coming to see the Hilton in Oak Lawn specifically. Our competition isn't the Chicago Southland communities. It's those in the western suburbs, the northwestern suburbs, Rosemont, downtown Chicago, the northern suburbs. That's our true competition, and we want to take those dollars being spent in those communities and bring them here to the Chicago Southland region. A lot of what we focus on are new groups. We do not account for repeat business, leisure travelers, or groups that go directly to the hotel from our sales and marketing efforts. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mary. Next is Kim Kozlowski. Okay, Kim. Also with the same organization.
Yes, and let me apologize. It was my writing, and that's why you can't read the names. I should have had Mary write it. But my name is Kim Kozlowski. I'm the Director of Marketing for the Convention and Visitors Bureau. And as Mary said, a lot of our work is not done in the local area. You may have, I noticed you had the Visitor's Guide. Some people may actually have seen the Visitor's Guide at the Village here. But our work is done outside the area to bring people in. So when Mary and her groups and her staff are attending these trade shows, my job is to actually place ads and provide the materials for those planners to actually see what we have to offer and to come to the Chicago Southland. So with our advertisements, we had 95 placements in our last fiscal year to group tour operators, meeting planners, sports event planners, reunion planners, some leisure. So out of the 95 placements, we have 18 million impressions from advertising alone. We also run a search engine marketing campaign because we're trying to, that's when you're bidding up the keywords. When people are searching for keywords, whether it's holding a meeting in the area, Chicagoland meetings, whatever it might be, we want our information to come up so they get to our website and book in our area. So with that program, we have 1.7 million impressions in the last fiscal year. Our website, over 52,000 visitors a year from all 50 states and 144 countries are coming to our site for information. Our visitor's guide, 120,000 copies. These guides are at the O'Hare Airport, Midway Airport, all the state tourist information centers throughout the state of Illinois. At our visitor information center, they're in all the Chicago Southland and the suburban distribution for CTM, which is a brochure distribution company, as well as the Chicagoland area. We supply them to inquiries this past fiscal year, not in 18, but in 19. We had over 5,000 inquiries. So they're in the hands of quite a few people who are prospective visitors. Social media, we had about 1.8 million social media impressions for fiscal year 18. Every day we do a leisure-based post, which is more of a festival, and then we do a group post, which is more towards the meeting planners, the sports planners, the group planners trying to get that group business in. For PR, we had 108 placements in fiscal year 18 with over 100 million media impressions. So my point being that we touch a lot of individual planners and leisure visitors. And so they do come to the area. Sometimes we know about them and we're able to run them through our sales team. Sometimes they come on their own because it's hard, especially the leisure market is very elusive. It's hard to track that. So I just want to make the point that we are touching millions of people. Even at our Visitor Information Center, on a quarterly basis, we assist over 7,000 visitors coming in through that center every quarter, offering them our materials, whether it be the individual hotel information, our visitor's guide, so on and so forth. Just so you know, not everything that we touch is in our reports or shown to the hotels. We touch quite a bit of business that we're not able to officially track. We will be working on a strategic plan. We do a 5-year plan, and we will be looking for input from all of our towns, and we look forward to Oak Lawn's input for that as well. Thank you.
Okay, Brooke, Biagic? Bielik? Bielasic.
Hi, I'm Brooke Bielasic. I'm the Human Resource Director for the Hilton here in Oak Lawn. And I just kind of I know everybody went over the sales and all the numbers, but I've had the pleasure of working with the Visitors Bureau for many years, not only for this hotel, but some of the other local Southland hotels that I've worked for. And I kind of wanted to touch on a couple of their programs that they provide for us, outreach that they do, not related to sales and bringing in. One would be the Frontline Ambassador Program. It's a training that they hold for everybody that works on our front line that comes in and helps our front line sell the Chicago Southland and Oak Lawn. What attractions do we have in our area? If we have families coming in, what would they be looking to do with their kids? What's here in Oak Lawn that we can send them to that would help make their visit enjoyable and bring them back again to spend their dollars here? The second would be just recently, they spearheaded the hospitality hires, which is typically in Chicago, and they spearheaded it coming here to Chicago Southland. We were able to interview over 33 candidates from this area in about 4 hours. That resulted in 18 second interviews for our hotel, which is a huge amount of candidates coming in for us. So I just wanted to make you aware also of what other resources they do provide for us as a partner. Thank you.
Thank you. And then Charlie Shirk, also with the Hilton.
Hi, I'm Charlie Shirk. I'm the general manager at the Hilton Oak Lawn. I'm also a resident of Oak Lawn. Some things that I wanted to bring into attention. We just finished an $8 million renovation that our owner put into the community. A lot of money. Terry, you actually were there. Also, we've got another $500,000 planned for the end of this year. Just couldn't get it done with all the business that we're having right now. We have 150 associates. The hotel tax paid to the city is over $500,000. The Southland booking for 2018 fiscal year referral approximately $650,000, and that can be direct or indirect by events that are held in the Southland, and they put in whether it's their upper people that are running the tournaments and things like that, or if it just happens to be a repeat business from the year before, because they don't claim anything that happens the year before where we would have something cycle through. It's things from sporting events, whether it's at the ice arena or any of the baseball fields that they're in charge of, the bus tours, association business. This is not to take into consideration the marketing that is put in various avenues, such as Cvent, Helms Briscoe, the Visitor's Guide, and the Hotel Co-op. This is all things that they contribute to. The people come in, and sure, I would love that all of them eat in Southside Social, but they do go out. We refer them to Fox's, we refer them to Palermo's, we refer them to Francesca's. You know, they're definitely after the Andes ice cream. You know, we get a lot of this that they feed out into our community. The Southland CVB refers business to the hotel. It's up to the hotel to book that business, whether it's ours or we choose not to book it. A very interesting fact that I would like to bring to everybody is the Hilton Oak Lawn in their comp set, and that is done through the Star Reports nationally. And we compete against the cluster at the Midway, which includes the Marriott there, as well as Hilton Gardens, et cetera. And then also Doubletree and a Marriott Burr Ridge. We currently beat them by 15% in occupancy. We're higher by 15%. And what that tells us is that we need every avenue to have markets fed to us. I plan on making it 25. That's my goal. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Last public commenter, I have Linda Vorderer. Linda, were you wanting to do public comments, or do you want to speak at the time of the agenda item?
The agenda. Either way. We'll do it now.
Okay.
Come on. Okay. I'm
Well,
Linda Porter from the Oaklawn Arts Commission.
Linda, let's do it at the agenda item. If you're presenting the scholarship, that should be on the agenda item for that.
Got it.
You got
Okay.
2 minutes there.
Yeah,
Take all you want.
All the time, yeah.
sorry. Okay, thank you, everyone. Okay, item 4, conflict of interest disclosure. Does anyone have a conflict to disclose with any item on tonight's agenda? Hearing none, we're going to move on to item 5, Oaklawn Police Department promotions, Lieutenant Gerald Vetter and Sergeant Christine McGuire. Come on down. Anyone here from Lieutenant Gerald Vetter? Sergeant Christine McGuire?
They're hiding out there.
Come on in. Come on up.
Go get him, Jay.
Good thing. Agenda. It's always a good night in Oak Lawn when we have these promotions. The greatest guys. I, Gerald Vetter,
I, Gerald Vetter,
having been promoted
having been promoted
to the rank
to the rank
of Police Lieutenant
of Police Lieutenant
in the Village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
in the Village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Police Lieutenant
of Police Lieutenant
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Any family you'd like to introduce?
My dad's back there in the, on the back wall, my son Gerald, my daughter Mia, my daughter Sarah.
Christine?
Congratulations.
And Jerry's dad was a former officer for us, so thank you for that. Christine, my friend, she keeps me up on everything in the village here. I try. You're great. Okay, same thing. Usually they're talking. I, Christine McGuire,
I, Christine McGuire,
having been promoted
having been promoted
to the rank
to the rank
of Police Sergeant
of Police
in
Sergeant,
the Village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
the Village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Police Sergeant
of Police Sergeant
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. Any family you want to introduce or
Yes.
friends?
My mom Annie, my dad Peter, my husband George, my brother Tony, my brother Mike, my sister-in-law Joy, my sister-in-law Michelle, my brother-in-law Mike, and Mike Jr., and then my college friends from Aurora. Thank you so much. For sorry, my sister there too, and I was sorry. And my friend Tom. Thank you.
I wonder we're so crowded.
She's got a lot of friends.
I got them all here. Sorry.
We share a piece of property in Michigan together, and you're all there all the time.
So I think let's go to the next agenda item, leave everyone up here for group photo, but I'd like to call up, item 6, Oak Lawn Police Department swearing in of a new police officer, Kyle Yeager. Come on up.
always nice to have a new officer come on. All right. You know the drill. I, Kyle Yeager,
I, Kyle Yeager,
having been appointed
having been appointed
to the office
to the office
of Police Patrol Officer
of Police Patrol Officer
in the Village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
in the Village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Police Patrol Officer
of Police Patrol Officer
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
It's really official. Again, anyone here you want to introduce
Yeah,
today?
I got a lot. My mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, my three sisters, Meg, Christine, Katie, my nieces, Sophia, Grace, Leah, nephews Ari and Andrew, Uncle Dan and Kathy, cousin Hannah, girlfriend Katie. I don't think I missed anybody. I hope not.
Okay, Chief. Comments, sir?
Yeah, I'll say a couple things. Another great night in Oak Lawn for myself and for the village and the police department. Quality promotions here tonight, and a great new officer. As they say all the time when I get up here, boy, I'm getting old. A lot of these guys that when I came on, Chris and Jerry both, wow, getting old. So these are going to be the future leaders that's going to take over. I think we're in good hands. Congratulations to all of you, and thanks to the board for always letting me come to you and you guys giving me that fill, because it really does make a difference in the village, so thank you.
Thank you. Get a group photo?
Get a quick photo.
And while they take the photo, I just want to thank all the families for coming to show support. The pride, you guys are just beaming joy and proud, pride, and it's beautiful to see. With that much support, everyone's going to do fine. Thank you. Thank you very much, and congratulations. Certainly don't mind if the families don't want to stay. We're not offended if you want to get out of here. You certainly can.
We want to hear a college story.
Meeting.
The Exodus.
But we don't get many takers on that. While they're clearing the room, I just want to welcome Sherry Miller from Fox College. How are you? Good, good. You've got a bunch of students here today.
We do, 15 of us.
Good. Fox College students, 15. Very good. That's good. Village or the? Good, good. Very good. Okay, is Justin here?
He is.
Where's Justin? There you are. Okay. Justin, after everyone makes their way out, we're going to come to the podium. And do you want to come with your family at all up there or just by yourself?
What a good kid. He's not a bit shy. Straight up.
Good. Good. Did you happen to bring a photo with by any chance? Okay.
You should see him play baseball.
Oh, okay. If you could email it and we'll slip it in because that's important. Okay. So the next agenda item, I just wanted to give recognition. Justin, you are, or were, I imagine you're in 6th grade now, right? Going into 6th grade. So you were in the 5th grade. And the PTA, the national PTA now has what's called a reflections program, which encourages students to share ideas, thoughts, feelings, all of that. And the theme for this year was Look Within. So the students submit their artwork, and there's many different categories. Yours was photography. And you did a beautiful photo. We're going to get it to the video people to maybe drop in on the video for those watching at home. It's a photograph of your dad's hands, right? And you wrote this description of the picture. And your dad's got some pretty rough hands. They, no offense, but it's beautiful, beautiful thing you wrote. You said, "What do you see in this picture? Some people see dirty boots, construction vest, or dirty hands. What I see is working hands. These hands are my dad's hands, and he works on a construction site every day for my family and me. Every day these hands work to earn money for food, shelter, and clothing. They also give hugs, play catch, give pats on the back, and so much more. Everything these hands provide, I couldn't ask for anything more as a child. I hope you have hero hands in your life. My dad is a hero." So we thought that was beautiful, and so did they. And you received national recognition for this, and you were the top one from Illinois, correct? So we just thought that was important, and we wanted to recognize you. And so this is the Village of Oak Lawn proudly recognizes and congratulates Justin Canvin on placing in the National PTA's Reflections Program with his winning photograph of his father's working hands. So we want to congratulate you and this. This way so we don't have a podium. There you go. Okay.
Together like your friends. But now you're hiding mine.
It was beautiful, thank you. And I want to thank you, Lorraine, for making us aware of that story. I'm going to stay up here for agenda item 8. I'd like to call up members from the Oak Lawn Arts Commission. Linda Vorder. Yes. Yes, okay, just one member. Okay, Linda, I'm going to turn the microphone over to you.
Mayor. Okay, if I could have Carrie and Marissa step up here, please. Okay. Each year, we offer a $500 scholarship to a deserving art student who has displayed excellence in theater, dance, chorus, or visual arts. And this year, we have 2 awards. Both of them displayed excellence in their respective majors, extracurricular activities. They were highly recommended by their teachers, counselors, and the principal of Oak Lawn Community High School. So it's with extreme pleasure that I thank you for demonstrating your talents, and I hope you keep Oak Lawn in mind in your future artistic endeavors. Okay? Carrie?
Can you state your name and where you're planning to go to school?
There you go.
I'm Marissa Perales. I'm currently going to Moraine Valley, but I plan to go to DePaul later. Thank you.
I'm Carrie Hartman, and I'm starting school at Columbia College Chicago this fall.
I should add that Carrie helped her mother paint 2 of our now famous acorns in Oak Lawn, the Bushback one and the VFW one.
Thank you. Congratulations and thank you very much. Okay, one more photo? Okay, turn your letters around. Okay. Oh, one more for Mom. Of course. Thank you. Best of luck. Thank you, ladies. I want to thank the Arts Commission for taking the time to do that. It's important for young people to be recognized like that. So, again,
Item 9, approval of the meeting minutes for the regular meeting minutes 2019-11 dated June 11th, 2019. May I have a motion, please, on 9?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Trustee Warder made that motion, seconded by?
Second.
Trustee Stalker. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. 10 is approval of the meeting minutes for the special meeting minutes 2019-12 dated June 25th, 2019. May I have a motion, please, on 10?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. That was Trustee Mallow
Second.
and seconded by Trustee Stalker. Any discussion?
Fastest meeting ever.
Yes. Call the vote, please.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Abstain.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Motion passes 501.
Thank you. 11 is new business by village trustees. District 1, Trustee Desmond.
No new business.
District 2, Trustee Oliniechek.
I just have one thing to discuss. This past 4th of July was a very tough day. Although we were celebrating a great 4th of July parade, we lost our pastor at St. Gerald's, Father Malcolm. And to describe Father Malcolm is beyond words, but I'll just give you, when I first heard that Father Malcolm was coming into our church, I heard a lot of things about all the great things that he did. And then after working with him, those words were just very underselling of what a man can do to help a community and to help a church. Being out there all day today, as the funeral procession was going by for the wake, the most interesting thing I saw were young and old, families, people from the neighborhood, everyday people. That's the type of priest Father Malcolm was. He'll be dearly missed, and he served a great purpose in the village of Oak Lawn, not just for the village, but specifically for St. Gerald's, because he did joke that every parish he has to come into, he has to build a gym. He not only helped us got our gym, which we'd been waiting since 1951 to get done, but we got it paid for within 2 years, and that's through his ability to want people to give money back to the church. So I'll always remember Father Malcolm very fondly, not only for what he did for me personally, my family, but what he did for the village of Oak Lawn and the family of St. Gerald's. Thank you.
Thank you. District 3, Trustee Mallow.
I just have one thing regarding thanks to staff Kevin McGinnis to help. One of the big items was to move the mailbox on 52nd Avenue and 99th Street. And Kevin was able to do that and get it off a busy street and move it over. It's not gone. You can find it still on 53rd and 99th Street. So it's just moved to a different location. But in case you're looking for it, it is still around. That's the only item I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Popular mailbox, too. District 4.
Thank you, Mayor. Alex, a nice eulogy. Great man who's made a big difference in the village of Oak Lawn. My sympathies go to the parishioners of St. Gerald Parish. And I want to comment on the Hilton remodeling. You mentioned it here. What a nice job. It really turned that place around. It's a modern, new facility. The $8 million really shows. So thank you for that. And to the staff and to you, Tim, on this 4th of July parade, what a great parade. I had a good time. They were 4 deep. It was a good parade. So a lot of people put a lot of time and effort, and I want to thank them as president and as an elected official. And to you girls at Fox College back there, I know you come once in a while. I'm a flunk out of your college.
So you two could be on this board. Yeah. But you got to flunk out.
Aim high. Yeah, aim high. Listen, I went for 2 weeks. The curriculum and the demands of your school were so much that I was overwhelmed. And I didn't get kicked out. I left and went to a different college. It's a great college. You're going to always enjoy your education and your job employment. My sister is a graduate of college. She's always had a great job. So keep up on the work at Fox College. That's all I have.
Okay, District 5. Can you top that, bud?
I don't think so. I am proud to announce, though, that Oak Lawn EMS, which is Emergency Medical Services, Fire Rescue, has received the American Heart Association Mission Lifeline EMS Gold Plus A Award for implementing quality improvement measures for the treatment of patients who experience severe heart attacks. Lifeline Initiative provides tools, training, and other resources for heart attack care following protocols from the most recently evidence-based treatment guidelines. Lifeline's EMS recognition program recognizes the emergency medical services for their efforts in improving systems of care to rapidly identify suspected heart attack patients, promptly notify the medical center, and trigger an early response for the awaiting hospital personnel. Per Chief Mike Maverick George, who's in the room tonight, our department and dedicated personnel strive to provide the best service and care to be provided to our citizens. We are here to serve them on any day, but most importantly, on their worst day. We're honored to recognize our men for their dedication and achievements in emergency medical care efforts through Mission Lifeline. This is truly a testament to the hard work EMS Bureau Chief Sharon Januszewski and our paramedics put out together every day. The vast majority of our firefighters are paramedics, but in the last month, there are a little bit over 700 calls, and 70% of them are for emergency medical services. We truly are an emergency medical services department that also puts out fires. So I want to thank them for their hard work and their efforts to improve the quality of their care, and keep up the good work, Chief. Thank you.
That it, Bud?
That's it.
Okay, District 6.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have one item I wanted to talk about, and that's related to Lorraine Swanson from the Patch and her excellent coverage of the Animal Welfare League issue in Chicago Ridge. I don't know if people have been following this. I don't know if anybody other than you has been following it, or at least is following it or is pursuing it as much as you have. I'm not a pet person, but I got to tell you, following it, reading it, and then following up on some of the stories and seeing the things that have happened there and the people that have been fired and people who've lost their license. And I had asked the chief, I think via email, and I knew that we did, if the village uses that facility for our strays, and I know we did, and it costs money, and the alternative is likely more expensive because it's probably farther, whatever the next alternative is. And I know the chief's still in the process of gathering information, but if anybody's not following this issue, it's really, really kind of tragic. And you don't have to be a pet person. I don't believe anymore that the average pet walking on the street is a stray. You have to believe nowadays that 98% of them belong to somebody, and the way that they dispose of these, pets, and how quickly they do, and how little recourse owners have. A lot of these Facebook pages have turned into lost pet pages, and I used to laugh about that, kind of saying, "Geez, is there anything else going on?" But I can appreciate, knowing what I do now, that if the clock is ticking and you're worried about your pet being picked up and brought to that facility, and I don't know that other facilities aren't terribly different, but kudos to Lorraine on exposing this, and I do think as a village board, we should make a decision. Again, it has to be cost effective, and I'm hopeful that maybe the alternative isn't so expensive, that maybe we send a message to that facility and maybe get others to do the same. So I wanted to thank Lorraine for your coverage, and keep up that good work.
Well
That's all I
said,
have.
Tom. Well said. Okay, we have Village Manager's Report, item 12. Larry.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. My items on the agenda are on the consent agenda, K, O, P, Q, R, and T. Thank you for having those before you tonight. They're all substantive policy decisions that we're asking you to make, and I appreciate the amount of deliberation that you've made over the last few months on these items. My next item is something that Ms. Miller from Fox College has heard me say before, but I see a lot of new faces here tonight with her. I want you all to know, if you don't already know, that the roots of Fox College are in Oak Lawn, not where you're located now. And approximately in 1939, Fox College was established as a private institution of higher learning. And a decision was made about a decade ago to move. That decision saddened me. I believe you ought to be in Oak Lawn. And I made that request on several occasions to executives that are responsible for administering your program. So I wanted you all to know that you're welcome anytime in Oak Lawn. I think the education that you get and the programs you receive are outstanding. I thank Ms. Miller for always bringing you here. And maybe one night I'll be able to congratulate you on coming back and finding your roots. But as long as you know it and share it with your classmates, maybe we'll get that wish someday. It would make you even a stronger institution. So thank you for being here tonight. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Larry. Item 13 is the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are routine or have been brought forward at the direction of the Board of Trustees and will be enacted with one motion. Now, if discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. A is a request to approve the Traffic Review Committee referral for one-way traffic between Tripp Avenue to Costner Avenue, commonly known as 108th Place, from 7:30 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. on school days. This was a 6-0 vote to approve. Item TC 1267, Lawn Manor School is the petitioner in District 6, and B is an ordinance granting that request. C is a request to approve the Planning and Development Commission referral for special use permit for an automobile collision repair in a C2 district at 10828 South Cicero Avenue. This was a 5-0 vote to approve petition number 2019-8. Hassan Sayez is the petitioner in District 6. D is an ordinance granting that request. E is a request to approve the Planning and Development Commission referral for a special use permit and a parking variation for a health club at 5303 West 95th Street. This was a 5-0 vote to approve petition number 2019-9. Ken Hurst is the petitioner in District 3, and F is an ordinance granting that request. G is a request to approve the Planning and Development Commission referral for a special use permit for body art establishment. This is microblading at 4821 West 103rd Street. This was a 5-0 vote to approve petition number 2019-10. Anne Marie Waters is the petitioner in District 6, and H is an ordinance granting that request. I is a request to approve the Planning and Development Commission referral for impervious surface variation at 9709 South Marion Avenue. This was a 5-0 vote to approve petition number 2019-11. Paul O'Donnell is the petitioner in District 3. J is an ordinance granting that request. K is ordinance 191339, an ordinance approving the purchase of certain real property located at 11000 South Laverne Avenue and 5030 West 111th. Item L is ordinance 191340, an ordinance amending certain sections of Title IV entitled Zoning Regulations pertaining to short-term rentals. M like Mary is ordinance 191341, an ordinance amending Title VI, Chapter 8, entitled Signs and Advertising Structures pertaining to sign regulations. N is ordinance 191342, an ordinance approving the sale of certain real property located at 5739 West 87th Street. O is resolution 191344, resolution approving an exclusive rights negotiating agreement with Capstone Real Estate Partners Incorporated and S.J. Russell, L.C. P is Resolution 191345, a resolution approving a construction engineering service agreement for federal participation pertaining to the 95th Street and 50th Court Museum Drive intersection improvement project. Q is Resolution 191346, a resolution approving a local agency agreement with the Illinois Department of Transportation pertaining to the 95th Street and 50th Court Museum Drive intersection improvement project. R is Resolution 191347, a resolution approving local public agency appropriations pertaining to construction services for the 95th Street and 50th Court Museum Drive intersection project. S is Resolution 191348, a resolution authorizing the execution of an intergovernmental agreement for access to GIS data between the Village of Oak Lawn and the Cook County Assessor's Office. T is Resolution 191349, a resolution authorizing the execution of a settlement agreement. U is Resolution 191350, a resolution authorizing the execution of an easement agreement with Midlothian and Cicero LLC. B is Resolution 191351, a resolution authorizing the execution of an easement agreement with the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District pertaining to the Calsag Crossing. And W is a request to approve a tent sale event at Hawk Ford from July 18th through July 30th. May I have a motion, please, on item 13, please?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Trustee Desmond made that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second, Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Vorder. Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor, I would like to have in removed for discussion.
And like Nancy?
In like Nancy.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? So
Yeah, I'd
we,
like to remove C and D.
okay. C like cat, D like David. Okay. Anything else?
What were those last two?
Pardon?
D.
We have N like Nancy, C like cat, D like David. Okay, so we're going to vote on item 13 with the exception of N, C, and D, please. May I call the vote, please.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Motion passes.
And I'm going to take these in alphabetic order. Item C is a request to approve the Planning and Development Commission referral for a special use permit for an automobile collision repair in a C2 district at 10828 South Cicero Avenue. This was a 5-0 vote to approve petition 2019-8. Hassan Sayas is the petitioner in District 6, and D like David is the ordinance granting that request. May I have a motion on C and D?
Move to approve.
Thank you. Trustee Phelan made that motion. Do I have a second?
Second?
Thank you, Trustee Stalker. Any discussion?
Is he here?
Is the petitioner here?
Yes.
Hi, would you like to come up, sir? If you could state your name, and I hope I said your last name right. Oh, thank you. That's the first one ever.
Hi, my name is Hassan Sayes, 10828 South Cicero, Unit B.
Okay. Yeah, my only question is regards the paint booth and what kind of knowledge you have about paint booths and what are the new regulations and
We're going to follow the code of Oakland and the EPA. So we have double filter standing, and most the new paint stuff is most water-based. So there is no harming for the EPA or the neighbors or anybody.
And you said you own the place next door?
No, he's not here.
Okay.
The owner.
Okay, but he sells those types of paints?
Yes.
Okay, and those paints are non-flammable?
Very safe, and I gotta follow the EPA instruction. So I can't even paint until I get the license from the EPA.
How close are you ready to be able to start painting? Like,
Soon as I get the codes from Oakland, start getting the permits for everything. It's maybe about next month, a month or 3 weeks.
okay. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Let's call the vote. This is on item C, and then we'll call it on D. So first, item C, please, 13C. May I have a motion?
Move to
we
have that already.
We have that already. Okay, let's call the vote. I'm sorry. Yeah, so let's just take them both. Okay, thanks, Paul.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to move on to item 13N. This is ordinance 191342, an ordinance approving the sale of certain real property located at 5739 West 87th Street. May I have a motion, please, on 13N?
Need a motion?
Well, we need a motion to
Yes.
deny or something before it's discussed.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Trustee Mallow made that motion. Do we have a second?
What was the motion?
The motion was to approve.
For discussion.
Well,
Yeah.
First approved, then discussion.
Yeah.
So we need a second.
Yeah. Second.
So trustee Desmond is our second. Okay, now let's open it for discussion. Trustee Desmond.
Yeah, on May the 14th, we approved the sale of this property to Oakland Auto, and it was contingent on the village acquiring and selling as well the property next door to 5737. While that didn't happen, the business owner, Oakland Auto, will still wanted to buy the property. So I think we should revert back to the ordinance from May 14th. We approved that sale.
So are you asking the board for a motion to deny, postpone, or what would you like us to do?
Well, we're, an ordinance approving the sale of 5739 to Oak Lawn Auto.
So that's,
Based on the ordinance from May 14th agenda.
Well, my understanding is that's not contingent upon that, right? This sale is not contingent upon the other sale. This is just a sale of this property, right? It's not contingent on the other piece there.
Let me help Trustee Desmond on this. It's been a goal of the village and specifically District Trustee Desmond to sell this property and to return it to the tax rolls. It's currently owned by the village. And the building has been used for years for storage purposes only. Does not generate any tax revenue. So the adjacent business owner approached the village and made an offer to buy that parcel. Originally wanted to buy some other parcels that were vacant, but not contiguous, but also on 87th Street directly to the east. There's another property owner, unfortunately, that has a parcel in between, and it's complicated. So this owner altered his offer and said, I'll just buy the building that has ownership by the village and not the vacant parcels. So we move forward with an agreement, and then a second party approached the village to buy the property. But it's the understanding through Trustee Desmond, discussion with staff, that the first proposal that was originally approved by the village, but at a higher price, no longer $250, but we're up to $270.
Correct.
He's agreed to, that is the highest and best seller, buyer, if you will, for the sale of the property. So what Tim wants to do is go with the original proposal, but at a higher level, $270,000.
okay, so do we need to amend this, Paul, or?
Let me see if I can find it.
Okay.
I think you have to move to deny this item.
Correct.
And then, one way or another, go back and vote on the other, which may have to be put on
Which
another.
was already voted on.
And
Unless the previous,
We're just selling the property to him at a lower number. We just want to raise the number on this,
I-
right?
Not on this one.
At this point,
Original
Yeah,
owner.
so we should, motion to deny.
Not to deny this.
Motion to deny, and then, so superseding motion.
We already have a motion. Why don't we just vote no against this motion?
This motion approves to the vote.
He already motioned to approve,
discussion.
correct, Jane?
or you can withdraw the motion.
Or withdraw, right.
You can vote no.
Okay, so this is a motion to,
Aye.
And then they're gonna.
No, it's a motion to approve.
And then we all vote.
motion
have a
to
motion on the
approve.
floor to
Motion,
approve.
motion approved, just vote no on
Okay,
it.
Right.
let's call the vote on the motion to approve.
Okay, Trustee Desmond,
Can make that motion.
Say no.
You could still vote how you
We're
want.
voting.
we're voting.
No.
So
This is,
This is
a yes,
Voting
a
for
yes
this-
vote is for this, a no vote, something.
Okay, no.
no, okay. Trustee Phelan,
No.
Trustee Vorder, Trustee Mallow,
No.
Trustee Stalker,
No,
Trustee Oliniechek.
No.
Motion fails.
Okay, and Paul, then, does that have to come before the board again?
No, it's over.
Okay, so we're good. And Tim, you're satisfied?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mayor, if I could, just to put closure on this, we appreciate that. I know it's a little bit confusing. The interest came at the very end. As you know, you only meet once a month. This will give clear direction to the buyer, which we believe is in the village's best interest, and the other interested parties, so he can move on with other plans. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So do we already approved the sale previously, so do we need to bring it up? We have to bring it back?
At the higher price?
The higher price,
Right, the next board meeting.
Well, no, it's the same price at 270, yes, but.
270.
Yeah,
Originally it was 250, right?
but the ordinance that
So we need a
was
new,
that 270?
Yeah, well, that's when we're gonna bring it back.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
Let him know he's paying the higher freight.
clear as mud.
yeah, but,
We need a vote when we're selling these village properties. Majority, right?
okay.
So-
Even though we did vote, if we did approve it on the May 14th?
We have to bring it back.
Okay.
Thank you, Paul. Okay, thank you, everyone. We're now on to item 14. This is a resolution waiving the competitive bidding requirements and authorizing the purchase of one 2019 F-250 truck. May I have a motion, please, on 14?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Trustee Olenichek made the
Second.
motion, seconded. I'm sorry, I didn't catch
Second.
you. Paul, thank you. Very good. Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mello?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Olenichek?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Item 15, proposal to reorganize and appoint/reappoint citizen commissioners, trustee committee members, and trustee liaisons. This is Trustee Phelan and Olenichek sponsoring. May I have a motion on 15?
Motion to table, Mayor.
Thank you. We have a motion to table from Trustee
Second.
Porter, seconded by Trustee Stalker. Any discussion?
Yeah, Mayor, we brought this to Legal and Ordinance. We had a very, very productive meeting, over an hour and a half, and there were more questions that came out of that meeting. I really think before we pass this as a board, we need another Legal and Ordinance to finalize what we want to do with this.
Okay, Trustee Stalker.
I agree that there's a lot of work that has to be done with the committees and organization. I appreciate the effort that Trustee Phelan put into this. I think we all have to try to understand what the purpose is of each of one of the commissions and how they can be best served. And I would like to have another meeting, as Terry mentioned.
Can I
Trustee Desmond.
Again, this is not a resolution, this is a proposal to discuss this, which is what we would be doing at another licensing and legislation meeting anyway.
Right.
Yes.
Why not discuss it tonight?
I,
Madam Mayor?
Trustee Desmond was asking Trustee Stalker a question. I don't know if he wants to answer it.
I don't have a problem with discussing it tonight. I just would rather have more time to review it before I vote on it.
We're not voting on anything tonight.
Okay, Trustee.
Okay, so the motion is right, is
No,
fair.
no, we are voting on something. This is the proposal.
Okay.
Madam Mayor?
Trustee Olenichek.
Trustee Stalker, I would like to, again, in the meeting the last time when we met, you keep saying that just one trustee worked on this. Trustee Phelan and myself worked very, very hard. Trustee Phelan and I worked very, very hard to go through all of the committees, all of the minutes, take a look at the structure, look at the ordinances. There's been a lot of time and thought put into it, and there's not a trustee that looks at this that can honestly say that we don't need to change. There's a lot of inefficiencies, a lot of outdated. There's commissions that are on there that we have ordinances on the board that don't even exist anymore. There's other ones that aren't even covered by an ordinance. So I think that, we don't need to take the summer off. I think we need to work through this and bring to the residents a better way of doing things, a more updated way of doing things.
And if I could add something here.
Trustee.
Thank you, Mayor. The frustrating part about this is in both attempts that we've communicated to our fellow board members, we've made it clear that this is a work in progress, beginning a month ago. And the notion that we have to have these meetings, this isn't the city of Chicago where there's some subcommittee that can make something die or not, okay? This is screaming at us as a board that we are being negligent in our duties. And if you don't see that based on the basic information we provided, then you're purposely being obtuse about it. This is embarrassing. We have massive vacancies. We have committees that don't even meet because there's not enough people. We have people waiting to appeal decisions that can't appeal them because we don't have boards with full members. We've got commission members making money, meeting 4 times a year for 10 minutes at a time, and other commissioners meeting 50 times a year and spending an hour at meetings not getting paid. There are so many things upside down and wrong about this that the idea that we have to keep having, ironically, more meetings to talk about the meetings that are not being effective is just doubling down on the problem. As it's been laid out very clear here, over the next month, just as it was over the last month, tweaks can be made, suggestions can be brought in, changes can be made again, something that may or may not have been working before and it's working now and vice versa. I don't know what it is about this. Why is it so hard when it's so glaringly obvious that this needs to be done? And it's on us. It's not anybody else's fault. The staff is overworked. They're going to meeting after meeting. They're creating agendas. They're posting notices and cancellations and creating agendas and minutes for meetings that are taking 10 and 12 minutes in some cases. So I'm, to the extent another legislative committee wants to happen, that's fine. But let's disabuse ourselves of the notion that we're not going to start doing this. And that's why, Tim, I didn't mean to challenge you the way I was. There is a proposal here, and the proposal is let's start doing this. It's ready, set, ready, set, ready, set. When are we going to go? Well, the time to go is now. And that's why this proposal is the way it is. It's simply saying let's assign people, i.e. us trustees, to different committees and liaisons, et cetera, and then work to see if these recommendations that Alex and I are making make sense. If they don't, 3 weeks from now, independent of a meeting, say, hey, this doesn't appear to make sense. We make that note, we come back in a month, and we formalize it. The delaying this process is just adding and compounding to the problem.
Trustee Vorder, then trustee Stalker, then trustee Desmond.
Yeah, at our last meeting, we walked out of that meeting not even knowing what committees exist. The direction was to staff to give us information on all these committees that serve the village of Oak Lawn. And if they're outdated, we would like to be able to review that. I never got that list. I cannot, and I agree with you, Tom, that we need to look at this and we need to consolidate this thing. But I don't know what committees we want to consolidate. I know a few. There was a lot of discussion with the Arts Committee and discussion with the Special Events Committee. In combination, we had representatives from those committees there and talked about their special missions. And then we left it with staff. Tell us about what committees, who's on these committees in detail. There were committees, electrical committees, carpenter committees. I don't even know about these committees. I need more information before I can move forward with this.
Terry, you do have the information now.
I do?
It's in at 1 o'clock, and it's.
Yeah, I opened it up. It's 39 pages, and I opened it up at 7:07 this evening.
Okay.
Before this meeting. I asked for a little bit more time to digest it. I asked for staff to give me the name of all these committees, who's on them, what they get paid.
Well, I can give it to staff to give to you if that would make you happy. I mean, if it's
Well, it would educate me.
coming
so that
from-
I
Okay, one
can-
at a time, please, Tom.
Yeah, it would educate me so that I can make an intelligent decision on these committees. That's all
And
I
again, the decision on the committees isn't tonight.
ask. Okay.
That's what I'm trying to make very clear here, is it's to assign us as liaisons and, heads of our trustee committees, no different than we've done a dozen times in the past, at least when I was on the board. The secondary part, which we made clear, even in the memo and the email cover,
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to look at it either, Tom, so I'm
1
sorry.
o'clock, I mean,
I know,
there's an onus on all of us, right? If it had gone out 2 weeks ago, fine. We had to wait for a legal opinion. It came in yesterday. Alex was involved with
appreciate
Fowler
that.
Malcolm's. So the point I'm making is, there's no decision on those tonight.
So can you read what we're voting on, or what you'd like to
It's the reorganization of the trustee committees liaisons. It's
Okay.
on the front page there.
I don't have it, unfortunately. Is it?
I don't
is
either.
it
It's in your
here?
email.
Again, Tom, I'm sorry, do you have a copy handy, or anything I could read for public record? Okay, I have it. So, now, this document, Tom, is dozens of pages long. Are we just acting on 1, 2, and 3, or item 1, or what is your pleasure?
It's to appoint the various trustees to the various committees as liaisons.
So 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the charge on number 3 is, over the next month, we all work, and you don't have to just work on your own committee. Of course, you could work on others as well. But this way, at least, to Terry's point, we're covering all bases.
Okay.
We're looking at the electrical commission that hasn't met in 20 years, and Jack
Right.
Gallagher still gets $25 a year for and doesn't know why. And that's just one example,
I know.
right? And then we are going to come back in a month
Yeah.
and say, hey, what Tom and Alex proposed here is correct, it's not correct, it's partially correct, and then formalize a reorganization. What the hope is,
Okay.
by September, we have a new restructure. We've cleansed the code of all this old stuff that doesn't exist anymore. We've improved the minutes that are atrocious across almost every committee. They're different names, they're duplicates, they're in the wrong spot. This is embarrassing on almost every level, and we need to act. And I don't mean to sound impetuous, but it's time to
What I'm going to do is read item 1, 2, and 3 from this large
Perfect.
document, and then I'm going to turn it to trustee Stalker, then trustee Desmond, just so we know what we're talking about and we're all on the same page. Because I think there is confusion, because not everyone had this in their hand. So this is a proposal to, number one, reorganize trustee committees and liaisons as follows. Public Safety would have trustee Vorder as chair and have trustee Phelan and Stalker. Legislative License and Ethics Committee would have trustee Desmond as the chair, trustee Olenichek and trustee Vorder in addition. Public Works would be chaired by trustee Olenichek and have trustee Mallow and Stalker on board. The Finance and Technology Committee would have trustee Phelan as the chair and have trustee Desmond and Mallow. The Fire Department Liaison would be trustee Phelan. The Police Department Liaison would be trustee Olenichek. The Utility Company Liaison would be trustee Mallow. Item 2, new appoint trustee liaisons to each of these resident committees as follows. The Appeals Board would be trustee Phelan. Architectural, Historical Design and Review, trustee Olenichek. Board of Local Improvements, trustee Desmond. Deferred Compensation Plan, trustee Stalker. Electrical Commission, trustee Stalker. Emergency Management Agency, trustee Vorder. Police and Fire Commission, trustee Phelan. Joint Review Board, trustee Stalker. Liquor Advisory, Stalker. Oak Lawn Social Service Corporation, Olenichek. Planning and Development, Desmond. Patriot Station Traffic Advisory Panel, Mallow. Police and Fire Pension Committees, Mallow. Art and Special Events, Mallow. Traffic Review, Vorderer. And number 3 is charge each resident committee liaison to pursue the proposed changes to resident committees found at the end of this memo with the goal of voting on changes at the August meeting and implementing these changes effective September 1st, 2019. So that's what's under discussion. I'm going to give you that back to you, trustee Stalker.
All right, I will openly admit that I did not understand this at all. I opened this up at 2 o'clock this afternoon and tried to get through it as quickly as possible. I don't disagree, Tom, that there's an absolute need to review the committee statuses, what they're supposed to do, what they are doing, what they're being compensated for. My first question is, will these be public meetings?
Will what be public?
When I hold a joint review board, if I have people that come to the meeting, is it an open meeting?
All these meetings.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I don't think you hold it. I think it's held and you're the liaison to the board.
I understand. So any resident, any trustee, anybody in the village, an open meeting.
All meetings are public meetings.
And but if I
Then
can
I
clarify,
understand.
this doesn't imply that you or any of us here have to attend all these meetings. This is more so that these committee members, John, in your case, architecture, if there's an issue, they know who to contact on behalf of the board, as opposed to, geez, maybe I call Terry, maybe I call Alex. We run into this planning development a lot, and just so there's some clarity for the people, if there's an issue, and very rarely, I think, is there, because I don't ever get any calls for it. But the idea here is not to suggest that all of us become ex officio members and attending these meetings, but more that we can all know that every one of these committees is being managed from a board level, because as you go through them, you'll see, and these don't include the dozen that are, Oak Lawn Fest is still on there. That hasn't been around, Terry, how long, 20 years, 25 years?
Well, I think it incorporated into,
But it still sits as a committee. It's not been repealed,
And
and
it's an ordinance in
it's
our
an
book.
ordinance on our code. And it's just, if you're going to our code and looking for things, if I'm looking and say, what is this jumbled mess? You click on things, they don't have minutes. You click on things, they don't have other things. So it's a comprehensive approach to making this sensible, rational, fair, so that people who are expending a great deal of time on behalf of us, because these boards are an extension of us, right? Talk to the mayor about this idea of each one being one of us and the mayor, or two of us and two from the mayor, so that we all have representation on all of the boards that we do eventually decide we want to keep.
Right.
So
So, trustee Stalker, you said your piece, right? Trustee Des.
Well, wait a minute. I just want to say that if I understood it that way, I would have felt a lot differently about this. But at 2 o'clock this afternoon, I couldn't figure it out.
Okay.
that's what we have.
So trustee Desmond.
Well, I just want to
Don't answer.
piggyback on something that Terry said.
Play that
You know, we have no idea where all these committees are, are they on the books? Are they codified? What? Well, I think Tom has just, and Alex, has just did all that for us. So, I mean, it looks like a lot of work has been gone into that. And,
Right.
you know, if all we have to do is vote to work on it, it seems the hard work is done. We just need now to vote so we can take a look at it and get down to work on it.
Trustee
I'm
Lee.
okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, Madam Mayor, this has been something that is, quite frankly, I know I've had conversations with you, I've had conversations with Tom, many of the trustees here. It's time. It's time for us to move forward. It's time to clean up a lot of the things that need to be cleaned up. And, you know, there was a lot of work that was done into it, and I do want to thank staff for going through a lot of this and providing us with the requested information. You know, Tom, with the amount of time that we were able to spend together going through this, there are a lot of things reading through it that just did not make sense. And all we're trying to say is let's move forward and let's streamline and make it better.
Trustee Desmond.
Yeah, but there's a guy in my district. He's a great community guy. Keeps asking me, when is my commission going to be renewed? It expired in 2007.
Right.
I tried. I always.
Yeah, 2007.
And he's not alone. There's 55
So-
other people.
So one of the things,
No.
one of the things at the legislative committee that was discussed was reaching out to these committees themselves and asking the people who are doing the work what they think about these proposed changes. And if this is acted on today, I'd request that all of you with your respective assignments reach out and get feedback from them. We're moving on, though. We have a motion to deny.
Motion to
A
table.
motion to table, excuse me.
I have one more
Trustee Border.
question.
Oh, okay.
As I look at your email, Tom, for the first time here, I'm looking at recognizing trustee committees and liaisons. I didn't even know there was a public safety committee. I'm now the chair of it. Okay, some of these committees, Emergency Management Agency, I'm the person in charge of that. Where is
No,
that?
not in charge, the liaison.
Is there an emergency
Yes.
management agency?
One-person committee, that theory, I would recommend you get rid of it. And that's one of the things we can do. Some of these things exist for no rational, sensible reason, and your recommendation may be, wait a minute, this is Art Clark by himself. He works here.
I don't know if we want to get rid of the emergency management agency, but,
Committee,
okay.
not the agency. There's a
Okay.
committee that
Okay.
exists with Art Clark, and he could name other people to it.
That was set up because of the FEMA grants. So there's a requirement to get grants. So there's some things that were set up eventually solved.
And I agree, it's time to straighten this out, but I think we gotta straighten it out intelligently.
Okay, so we have a motion to table. I'm going to call the vote on the
I
motion.
have one
to
more
table.
question.
Yes, trustee Stalker, and then we're calling.
Will there be staff there to take minutes?
Every committee is functional and operational as they have been. Some committees have a recording secretary, some do their own minutes. It is, you know.
I recommend that there be somebody to take notes.
And that's exactly it, but part of this is to not favor some committees versus others. In some committees, to your point, Mayor, the committee members have to do it themselves. Some cases, Brian's doing it, Dee, Carmi, I mean, Jane, how many different people? 10, 12 different people?
The green team, we did it ourselves.
Yeah.
There weren't, just Carmi and Dee actually from the village.
Susie Kelly does it for fair housing. The point is normalizing the process, making sure people are compensated for their time, eliminating things that frankly are not necessary anymore. You have committees that have been meeting for a decade that don't have any real issues. Doesn't mean the people there aren't, they've some of the best attendance but rationally saying, wait a minute, I just bring up the ADRC because, John, I don't know how many times you guys meet twice a month for, there's so many things that are out of whack. And to Bud's point, normalizing all of them. They should have somebody recording their activities and posting. And frankly, by eliminating a lot of this duplication, reducing some of the meetings, it's less work on your office, Jane.
Yes.
Sending out notices to the papers, then cancellation notices, and then agendas.
It's difficult, and we don't have quorums, like you said.
And we can't even tabulate the amount of time your office and
It's-
staff spends.
I'm going to call the vote. This is a motion to table.
Trustee Desmond,
No.
trustee Phelan,
No.
trustee Vorder,
Yes.
trustee Mallow,
No.
trustee Stalker,
No.
trustee Oliniechek.
No.
Okay.
Motion fails to
I need
table.
a motion, please, then to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Trustee Oliniechek made that motion, seconded by trustee Phelan. Any discussion here? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Phelan.
Yes.
Trustee Vorder.
Yes.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Completely different thing.
Thank you. Okay, so item 16, a proposal to withdraw from the Chicago Southland Convention and Tourism Bureau. Again, trustee Phelan and this time trustee Mallow are the sponsors. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
Trustee Oliniechek made that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Trustee Phelan is our second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to just talk generally about some of the things that the representatives from the Bureau explained to us. The history on this, it goes back 10 or 12 years. We encountered the same issue, and I did advance it. I was the special events liaison, and I was curious as to why a lot of the tangible evidence of this Bureau didn't include Oak Lawn, at least to the extent I thought it should for the money we pay. To those who don't know the amounts of money, because it really wasn't explained, we lately have been spending $80,000 a year. And I talk about that in terms of promotion and marketing money. And Charlie, if you were sitting there and somebody said to you, would you spend $80,000 a year for this level of marketing? You know, I would sit there and say, I don't know that I would. And I say that because we heard a lot about impressions and not really being able to track things. Marketing dollars need to be proven. A good marketing person is going to say, what am I getting for my dollar? And do we believe that the Bureau does a great job promoting the Southland? Probably. Do we believe that Oak Lawn is a tourist destination? Not really. It's a great town. We all love it here. The average person Googling what to do in Chicago area is probably not hitting Oak Lawn. If they do go to your website, I have to tell you, you're on it, it's Tinley Park Convention Center. You have to drill down deep to see Oak Lawn. And again, this is a cost-benefit analysis. You know, when you click on restaurants, we see 4 restaurants. We have far more than 4 restaurants at Oak Lawn, 2 of the restaurants in the Hilton. Now, I'm happy for the Hilton that they're getting what they believe is good publicity, but this is monies that we collect from the hotels in the form of a tax and pass along to this Bureau. And from my perspective, we need to see evidence, just like I said 10 years ago. We need to see evidence. And you know, this is truthfully the only real evidence, because we do receive the visitor's guide, 60 or so odd pages, and a lot of it is listings of the theaters, the golf courses, the museums. But even this, you know, the Fall on the Green is mentioned under festivals. Just says Fall on the Green, no dates, no details, and then it links to our website. Is that really promotion? That's like a phone book. The golf course page 28, doesn't list Stony Creek Golf Course. We don't have a lot of things in Oak Lawn, but the few that we do have, you would think that we would have them promoted. They're page after page of nothing about Oak Lawn. And when the reference is made to making 168,000 copies of these, okay, which is significant cost, I'm sure, it's beautiful. And where do they go? It'd be different if you could say they were mailed to these representatives from these different conventions, but to hear that they're left at the airport, you know, a big chunk of them, I presume. Who gets off of a plane nowadays and doesn't know where they're staying? Who doesn't have their phone in their hand 24/7? Who doesn't, when they think about a trip or a booking, they're on Orbitz or TripAdvisor or this or that? In 1991, I maybe can see the logic here. You know, at the time, Tinley was a sleepy little town. Now it's a behemoth. It's got a convention center. It's voted the best city in America 5 years ago. That's who we're competing with. And the Midway Airport expansion of all the hotels that were built up there in the last 15 years. My contention has been that the Hilton is a great hotel on its own. And in absent this money, they're still going to do a great job because they're a Hilton property. And Oak Lawn is it's great location, okay? Not to tourists, but to people coming to stay, to pilots, we hear Larry, pilots and, stewardesses and flight attendants stay there a lot because it's nice and convenient. But as far as $1.2 million we've given this bureau since 2001. And again, the evidence to me is not there. It's not a criticism of your organization. I'm sure you're doing a bang-up job for Tinley and Orland. As I said before, if you can't measure it, like we can't measure it, you can't say that here are the direct bookings to the hotel, the Gateway, the Midway.
Tom, if I can just add something, I think Charlie was saying he can attribute, and I don't know if you said it here or in a conversation I've had earlier, you do track that, and you do track what's referred. And it was in 2018, $600-something thousand.
$650,000 in bookings to the Oaklawn Hilton directly attributable to that organization.
From groups that they had contacted.
Yeah.
So, average room cost $150.
Well, yeah.
So 4,500 nights were booked at your hotel as a direct relation to this.
Whether it's
Charlie, can you come up to the microphone? Some people watch at home and they can't hear this.
Sure, absolutely. The way it works with the CVB is not always a direct booking. It can be indirect. For example, an event that they might have at a baseball stadium, and we're given that stuff, and then it feeds into us. So, as an example, like 177,000 with sporting events. Now, it's not by mistake that we're 15% ahead of all of our competition in hotels, which is what we're directly ready with. We've got a great product. I agree. We're going to go after it. We need all the avenues hitting, Tom. And I know I sort of talked with Alex earlier,
Let me ask you, I didn't mean to interrupt you. If we were to repeal this portion of the tax, 0.25%, Larry, whatever the number is, would you then be willing, you could charge your guests less, would you pay them the $80,000 a year?
I don't think that's an option he has.
It is hypothetical, yeah, it can be. Because you can you can keep charging your guests the same, pocket that money, and pay them. The question I'm asking you is, I'm sorry, you can say indirect, right? We can't track indirect.
I agree with you.
There's a sporting event,
Yes.
right? We can't say that the Bureau was completely responsible for all the bookings from that sporting event. But certainly they probably did a nice job.
Right.
The problem we're not Rosemont. We don't have elected officials making $300,000 a year and all their family members making $300 because they have so much tourism money. We're almost bankrupt because pension obligation.
I understand that, but the point to this is not about the pension obligations. I understand budgets, et cetera. What you're doing by repealing it is not giving us the avenues that we need to do to keep the bookings that we've got. Right now, and this wasn't that way 4 years ago, I can tell you this, that we weren't leading the comp set. We were behind, which is money feeding into the coffers of Oaklawn. Right now, we set at 15% above Marriott's, which is not common. I can tell you if you compete in different markets, but Marriott's there, they win it. They win that market. We struggle against two different Marriotts that are in our market that they consider in our competition set. Now, can I say exactly this is what has happened with this? Maybe we need to tell them they got to do a better job on the marketing end, if that's what your beef is.
Well, that's what I said.
But from my end, $500,000 come out of the tax that we get. That 15% that we're driving over the other competition, and that is fact.
So that competition you're referring to, is that regional competition?
No, it's regional in our area.
So what does
We're
that
talking
mean?
the cluster. We're talking the clusters.
Clusters
down here
by
at Midway.
by Midway.
And believe me, we don't get a lot of business from Midway. That is not our feeder, and I heard that the other night when I was talking with Alex. That is not our feeder market. We don't get from there. They stay down at the cluster.
So is the cluster part of the convention group? Because I know the city of Chicago is. So again,
No, it's not.
you have city of Chicago in your drop-down list, no?
But that's our competition.
And so my point is, within your competition group, I'm sure there are hotels that they represent or that they promote.
Well, definitely also is one of them.
So I'm coming back to $80,000 a year.
Correct.
Would you pay that? If your marketing department said you have $80,000 a year, would you pay for this level of?
Without a doubt.
Then I-
Without a doubt.
Then I would propose
Okay.
we do it that way. We
Well,
reduce.
let's, I'd like to call up, Mary, are you the best person to answer a question about how the structure of the, I was told that you have to be a municipality to be a member. I'm not sure if that's correct. Who can answer that question? So if we carve out, let's say we have an ordinance that changes, is this coming from the village? No, let's have them just pay it as members. Can
Well,
they be
Mayor,
members? Is that what you're
Excuse me,
saying?
my point is, we're a home rule community.
Right.
Legally, and we've asked the attorneys, we can do what we want, so to speak, because we're a home rule community. So my point simply is, we are charging the guests, taking their money and giving it to your organization. If we stopped doing that, and you kept that fee, the hotel did, the hotel can then give you that money. Because, again, my contention is the Gateway, the Midway, they're not benefiting, and I'm not begrudging the Hilton, I'm happy that they're getting this kind of information. The other issue I want to say, Mary, I don't mean to cut you off first, is when we looked at this in 2009 or 10 or 12, I forget which, we looked at the operating expenses. And how many employees are there in the organization?
12.
12. At that time, 50% of the money was going to salaries and benefits.
We've never hit 50% on salaries.
52% in 2011, salary and benefit. Second part right down there.
Well, first of all, let me just address a few little things really quickly. This is not what that hotel motel money goes for. It goes for the marketing and the outreach that we put in our attending trade shows. And we put tons of money in areas that the hotel could never afford to do it, in Cvent and Helms Briscoe. That's where professional meeting planners go to look to see where they're going to book their business. We're not a leisure destination. You're absolutely right on that one point. We're not leisure. We are the market and sports and tour and travel and religious and education market. A hotel has X amount of staff in their sales department. They do not have the outreach that we have for that. Now, like I said earlier, hotel motel tax was imposed in this municipality along with the other municipalities in the Chicago Southland region when the local Tourism Convention Bureau grant was put together in 1986. Oak Lawn has been a member of ours all that time.
It's 91.
Now, 91 is the change. We used to be under REDEC, which is a Regional Economic Development and Coordinating Council.
Our current agreement's 91.
Well, okay, but it's the same exact agreement. They just changed the names in it because we separated under that umbrella. So it's been since the beginning.
So, Mary, I gotta.
I'm
again,
Sally.
I'm sorry, Sally. Again, you say this is all we have. We can't follow you to trade shows and see what you're doing. We can't see, and it's always that frustration I have. It's that impression. It's that intangible. It's that indirect, non-auditable, can't prove, have to take the word. And I'm just saying, this is the same conversation we had 10 years ago.
Okay,
And there was going to be a determination to move forward and do a better job and promote our events. Jim, we had that discussion.
The question.
And
Wait, can I add that I have the emails from back then because I was here at that time and we discussed it and the council at that time voted to stay with the Convention and Visitors Bureau. You were on vacation and it was around November and I'd sent you an email because I said I'll contact you. I still have the email and you say, get a hold of me after the first of the year. So there's my email. Oh, wow, time goes by fast. I hope you had nice holidays.
Okay,
It's
let's-
January.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying that we did try to follow up to finish it up because every single hotel understands the importance and the value of a Convention and Visitors Bureau. Municipalities, not necessarily. I tell people, I'm a CPA, I understand numbers. I don't understand medicine. Everybody doesn't know what they don't know when it's not their realm of expertise. So we would like to take the opportunity that maybe we step back for a minute, allow us to educate and put down on paper exactly what we do, show you our picture, because when you're calling us this, We're not just that. And if you take Convention and Visitors Bureau, which is an official destination marketing and management organization, away from a hotel in the state of Illinois, that will be the only one of that level of caliber that you have in your property that's not represented at that level.
So if you said 12 employees,
Yes,
how many communities do you represent? How many communities pay hotel tax?
19.
Okay, so less than, I'm looking at it from a sales rep perspective, so to speak. You can assign 1.5 to 2 per person. I know not everybody's job is that, but the issue I raise again with you is, why is it now that we get the whole group? Wouldn't it stand to reason that on an annual basis, we get the report you're talking
Yeah,
about?
Tom, they do have annual meetings and invite people and.
Report that I'm saying, annual report, if we were a sales customer, you would send us, here's what we did for you last year. This is what I get every year, Jim.
No, we provide to the municipality, all of our funding communities get our independent audit. We just met with Sandra like less than a month ago. We go around and we meet with all of our mayors. We sit down, we invite everybody. We've invited everybody before we even knew about this meeting tonight to come to our board meetings. If you'd come to our board meeting and just appease us with that, it shows exactly what we have done in the last 3 months.
Why do I have to come to your board meeting? I'm a client of yours paying $80,000 a year. Why do I have to come to a meeting? Jim, why can't you send us, here's what we did in Oak Lawn last year?
Okay.
Bullet point.
But before we go to that, just one
Well,
second.
that's
I don't
my
mean to be-
concern. I don't want to go before we go.
Excuse me, I would just like, sorry,
Okay,
Tom,
Trustee
just
Doug.
one thing clarified. Village manager can probably answer this. So the village collects a bed tax from every room? Yes. And the village collects that money?
Yes,
Right.
it's about 8% that's collected.
And so is our
Hotels,
ability to collect that contingent on being a member of the Convention and Visitors Bureau?
No, but I don't know how you would justify it.
Well,
How
is
do
it
you
contingent
justify
on
that?
it?
Because the hotel motel tax is collected by the property. They and then obviously pay it to the community. Like I said originally, 1% was the original thing because it was set up originally back in the day by the state of Illinois to have them put it towards the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Then as
Bill,
time went on,
okay,
so now you have 8%. So the village 7.25 because we don't get a whole 1%. The village keeps 5% of our 1%. It's just put your okay, and if we're not marketing and selling on a national level, what do you think is going to happen to your pool of money that you're collecting on that other percent? If occupancy goes down and they're having a more difficult time, everybody gets less.
No, that was my question. Is it contingent on being a member of this organization? And your answer is
Collecting the tax is not contingent on it as much as, I don't know how you justify taking all of the hotel motel tax that's put on the people staying in the hotel.
well, I would say that the people of Oak Lawn would be very happy if we took all that money and did their streets and sidewalks.
Sure, we've had communities over the years that said, hey, you know what, we have to lay off firemen, policemen, get a fire truck. They sit down and they come to the table, we put it all together for them, we educate, and none of them have left. So, I mean, education is our hardest job that we have. People don't understand what we do, and it's obvious that you don't really completely understand what we
Trustee
do.
Oliniechek.
I respect that.
But your
Madam Mayor?
Trustee Oliniechek, please.
No, well,
Okay, Trustee Oliniechek.
We had this conversation 10 years ago. There was going to be a pledge to educate, make us better aware. This is what I get in the mail, Jim. Fill out an application to your festival.
I have the floor. I do have a question.
Trustee Oliniechek, please.
I'm a little bit confused. How many other hotels do we have in the village of Oak Lawn?
3 other hotels.
Is there any representation from the 3 other hotels here? So it's the Hilton that's really concerned about
Okay.
this?
When you stop and, well, yeah, probably, because they are the ones going after the meetings market, large things where they need to book big blocks of rooms.
I understand, but when you take a look at an investment in a community, and I'm a Hilton Honors, that's all I go to are Hiltons, and I've never once gone to any convention bureau to find my Hilton. I go online and book it, by the way. But I will tell you that when you look at the money that we're spending, and quite honestly, it doesn't seem worth not, I mean, maybe the Hilton's getting their money worth, but I'm going to tell you the rest of the hotels aren't. And quite honestly, the rest of the businesses that should be getting the benefit. I mean, that's the whole point.
If I could just clarify one thing really quickly. When you're speaking of going directly, of course you do as a leisure person.
I do it for business too.
Right. I know, okay, for business too. But what I'm saying is when we go to these trade shows all over the United States and in Canada, we're not meeting with individual people. We're meeting with meeting planners that can go anywhere in the United States and hold their meeting. So they don't even know the Chicago Southland exists when we meet them. We sit down with them. We understand, hey, do you meet in the Midwest at all? We bring meeting planners and brand new business that doesn't even know our area exists.
Madam Mayor, can we go for a vote?
I just want to see other people
Oh, sure.
have discussion, so, okay, trustee Warder.
I understand the value of marketing, and I concede that your arguments are well done. I want to ask the village manager if he would like to weigh in on this, on this value here.
You want me to weigh in on this?
Yeah, what's your position here?
Well, my position is that, as trustee Valen had made it very clear, we are a home rule community. And I think you've heard me say many times that we're unable, you are unable, as elected officials at the local level in this great state of Illinois, to control your budgets. We have serious, serious financial problems. And the decisions are being made by men and women in Springfield without appreciation or even consulting you on the results. We just finished a session and bills were passed. I don't recall getting a call from a legislator, what's the economic impact on this mandate? It continues and continues. And we're going to be faced in the next 2 months, just prior to preparing the next budget, with more costs. And yet, as trustees, you get asked daily, fix an alley. Take an alley that has been a green space, hasn't even been paved. Pave it. Why are my streets so bad after one of the worst winters we've seen in years? That's what you have the pressure on you. I appreciate what Jim and Sally and or their other teammates do, but Tom is correct. If you really look at what the Bureau does in relationship to these taxes, Oak Lawn is not prioritized. And they know that. It's the truth.
Okay, trustee Stalker.
Yeah, I'm listening to all the information that I'm getting today, and I, quite honestly, don't want to make a decision on what I'm going to do next year based on what I've heard today. I don't know why we can't have this before today at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Come on, or when did we get it? We are supposed to get information so that we can analyze it, review it, and prepare to vote. I can't vote on this because it's a he said, she said. I understand that it's a lot of money. I don't know whether we're getting our money's worth or not. I wasn't going to vote for the committee proposal until I found that it was a proposal to study the committees. I didn't realize that because I only looked at it at 2 o'clock this afternoon. I'm getting more information now about the Convention Bureau than I ever had, and I didn't get it at 2 o'clock this afternoon. I just can't support a vote that I have had no time to review. It seems to me that we can take a week and make a decision. Do we have to vote tonight on whether or not to cut this off?
We certainly don't, but it's up to you guys, so any other discussion? I just want to clarify, I had a question. So the people who fund you are exclusively municipalities, or can a hotel fund you independent of a municipality?
No, we were established in the very beginning that it's our funding municipalities all do a 1% hotel motel tax collected on our behalf. So what that ends up helping across the board is making sure that $1.5 million stays in the Chicago Southland of the Local Tourism Convention Bureau grant program, because if we didn't have the match, so we collect from our 19 municipalities the monies that we need to keep that state grant going. Our overall budget is 2.5 million. The Village of Oak Lawn provides about 4% of our budget. So there's a lot of dollars that come from a lot of other resources that help us help the hotel directly.
Okay, thank you. And I guess I just want to just comment again, the Hilton has just invested $8 million in our community and is a very large employer. And we're going to call the vote then on item 16.
Can I add a little bit of a statement on that? The meeting planners out there that are aware of the Hilton or have been at trade shows where we've been at, this would be not a good time for the Hilton to pull from the Convention and Visitors Bureau, because we get to re-promote that as an unveiling of something wonderful that they have put. I don't know if everybody here has been in that property since they've done it. It is absolutely amazing. And to have a jewel
Nothing
like
it
that.
around here.
No, and to have.
Further south you go, it looks less and less elegant, and this looks like downtown Chicago.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Right here in Oak Lawn, and, yeah, I just think, we should consider supporting the businesses that invest in our community. Just my 2 cents.
Mayor,
I
may I
see also.
add something?
Yeah, and then we're.
Could I just see the hands of those gentlemen here and ladies that attend some type of a industry trade show, conference, or convention? Okay? Can I ask Tom, where was the last conference or trade show?
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. Where's the last trade show you went to?
Country,
But like your last one.
Springfield, probably.
Probably.
yeah, Springfield.
Reno, Nevada.
Okay. Meetings don't just automatically come to your community. People don't just open the door and say, here I am, and they automatically come. The reason why they went to Reno or Kansas City or St. Louis is because they have an extremely viable, aggressive Convention and Visitors Bureau that partners with their communities to do the outreach, to meet one-on-one with that meeting planner to say, here's what we've got. It's a matter of establishing a relationship with that individual. Mary Patchen mentioned just a minute ago. Mary, what group is it?
It's actually a federal
There's a federal education program that Mary went to. What trade show was it, Mary? Do you recall? And where was it? Connect Marketplace in St. Louis, Salt Lake City. That's where she met face-to-face, one-on-one with that meeting planner. That meeting planner was convinced by Mary to fly in here, and they're coming in today. They're staying at the Hilton tomorrow to inspect that facility. Mary will be with that customer. At that time, they're going to meet with Charlie. They're going to make that connecting link. Hopefully, we can convert it. We do this all the time. All the time.
Thank you.
We go to 30 industry trade shows. It happens, whether it be sports, religious.
So what would you say to us who have these terrible budget constraints? What would you say? Because this is clearly financially
Sure, I understand.
driven.
I think we've had these conversations with some of our other communities. They understand what we do. Maybe what we need to do is, as Sally says, let's slow the process down. Let's meet a little bit closer. We do send support, data, information to you guys. If it doesn't get to you, then there's a communication link between you guys and us. I would strongly encourage you, the invitation to come to our Board of Directors meeting is next Wednesday. I think it's an educational opportunity that will open your eyes a little bit more, give you an idea of what we've been doing for the last quarter and the businesses that have been brought to the Chicago South End, which includes the Oak Lawn Hilton. The important thing here is when they come to the Hilton, they're not just staying at the hotel. They're buying gas, they're going to retail, they're doing the things they need to do to spend money in the community. Our bottom line is heads in beds. We do whatever we can to convert that to make it happen. And I want to share with you, the competition is unbelievable. If you pull a string away from the Oak Lawn Hilton, it's going to hurt their bottom line. That's what it's about. I would suggest you guys, maybe we think this through a little bit further. Let us meet one-on-one, or two of you guys, or three of you, and let's slow the process down and kind of explain to you a little bit more in detail. It's about, Tom, it's about communication. If you're not getting that information, hey, let's talk about it. It's all about communication.
Okay, anyone else have anything?
You still collect all the money from tourism as well, too, right? Not just trade shows, whatever. Tourists are coming to the Hilton, that money's still collected?
Yes, that is
And
correct.
we still pay you?
That is, well, it comes to the Hilton. We receive one small portion of it. You get the rest of it. And it's the same proportion throughout the entire area. Thank you. And everybody is, here's another thing too. If there's something that we are missing, for example, Tom mentioned the fact that some of your events, we have a festival and we have several publications where all of your events are listed online and also in publications.
But yet the one we get, it's not. It's curious to
Well,
me.
we're not showing it to you.
Why wouldn't you want to show me the one that does show that?
You got them here? Let's show 'em.
I mean, it's fascinating to me that the thing that I can look.
Madam Mayor, this
have it-
meeting
all
go
these
on
other
all night.
Does
I
happen.
know.
I think we've talked.
A
Did
trustee-
I can just say about the visitor's guide, we only do the general, it's an annual overview.
Right.
We print twice a year with all the detail for all the events. We don't do it in this one because we don't have them in time. We can't get the events from the villages in September or in August to get it in this guide. It's just not possible.
Okay.
Same every
Trustee Stalker, and then we're going to call the vote.
Yeah, this is not a bill that's coming due next month, is it? We pay every month so we can find out what the facts are and then vote intelligently with the information that's provided. And I suggest that we do that.
Okay. So we have a motion to approve. This is a motion to withdraw.
Got it.
And the motion to withdraw is the motion to approve, that withdrawal. So,
Motion approved.
the motion,
Motion means we withdraw.
That's correct.
correct,
Correct. Motion approved.
correct. So we'll call the vote, please.
Trustee Desmond,
Yes.
trustee Phelan,
Yes.
trustee Vorder,
No.
trustee Mallow,
Yes.
trustee Stalker,
No.
trustee Oliniechek.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-2 to withdraw.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I will share with you that we are disappointed. Charlie? Been a good time.
Mayor, can we get on with the meeting, please?
I would,
So we have to move on with the meeting.
one final thing. I am disappointed.
We have
I
an
would
agenda.
still encourage you all, our Board of
know.
Directors meeting is next.
We have the
Wednesday.
invite, and thank you.
Please join us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Item 17, a discussion and proposal on new video gaming legislation. This is trustee Phelan and Mallow, the sponsors. May I have a motion, please, on 17?
Motion approved.
Thank you. Trustee Mallow made that motion.
This was just
A discussion? Okay, thank you. Okay, do you want to discuss
Sure.
it, Paul?
Sure. The sheet is here in front of you. It's basically just 4 pages here. It's looking at the difference from what we had back in, it's our 7-year anniversary of having gaming in our town. So this is looking at doing some different things as far as the cost involved. The state of Illinois passed allowing a 6 machine to an establishment. We looked at a lot of the numbers, and the numbers are literally outstanding as far as the $22 million brought in from gaming. And this is basically, if you want to take the time to look at it, you have $500 for the first 2 machines is the proposal here, $750 for the next 2, and then $1,000 for the final 2. The percentages go up very slight for the bar owners, for the restaurants, for the few cafes that we have in town. The main gust of it is at the terminal operators, which is page 3 and page 4, highlighting the dollars that mainly it seems to become one, Excel Entertainment, that holds 18 of the licenses or locations, and they paid $1,000 last year and made close to $10 million and are looking at $2.2 million in 2019. So I know Trustee Stalker brought this up at a P&D meeting, right? A Public Works meeting regarding this and the help that our town needs regarding alleys, whether it's for businesses or residents.
Yes.
This was a good idea. It also came up at the finance meeting, so I think this is time to look at this and make changes where changes are needed.
Thank you.
Can I add a point, Mayor?
Sure, Tom.
So, and the mayor had concerns about more gaming, an additional machine, and the scarier notion that most people don't know about is they're increasing the max bet. They're allowing a higher max bet.
$4.
So, the horse was out of the barn in 2012. Some of us on the board at the time had concerns about this and were not supportive of the idea, but the argument was you're hurting our local establishments, which obviously turned out to be true. I remember sitting there when the gaming advocate was talking about the dollars, and I did the quick reverse math, and I'm saying, are you telling me that there's going to be $40 million wagered on a year? And he didn't hesitate. He said, absolutely. And I was like, no way. It's that and then some. It's crazy.
It's $12 million a month.
Yeah,
It's
what
insane.
people, and I didn't know this until recently, you've got the establishment, you've got the restaurant, the bar, who makes their cut. And they pay a fee to the village, 500 a terminal. The big money is the people that own the machines. Put them on the walls, basically a reverse ATM, right? They pay us $1,000, the village. And you would think per establishment? No. Excel, which is going public, by the way, in the next couple of weeks, has made $10 million net off of Oak Lawn since 2002. If they've represented all these places since they've started, they may or may not switch. But the hypothetical is if they've been there the whole time, $10 million they've made. You know how much they've paid the village? $7,000.
It's not a bad investment.
Oh, boy.
So, we get circled every week by people who want to open gaming cafes, and, it's insidious.
It is. So the notion, and Paul was talking about this, how do we try to capture what's going to be additional gaming revenue, but probably or hopefully create a disincentive for that Easy 6 machine? Because if we don't have some disincentive, anybody's going to take it if they have the room. It's not going to cost the bar owner or the restaurant owner a dime. But if in this tiered structure, Paul proposed that 5th and 6th machine are $1,000 and not $500, again, you look at the numbers. I mean, you just look at the places you wouldn't even think are making money have turned into mini casinos. They can afford it. The real hard challenge, and we talked to the attorney about this, is how to get more money from the terminal owners because they've probably bulletproofed themselves with the state legislature back in 2012. But Paul's attorneys think we do have an avenue, and we just need to give some direction and saying, okay, these numbers are all hypothetical, like Paul said. We could change them, add them, make them higher, make them lower. Tim likes the idea of making a little higher. So the number is not the issue or the amount, it's the legal way we go about doing this. Is that a good way to say it, Paul?
Yeah,
So-
if you're talking to Paul, me, not
Yeah, Paul, Brady.
Trustee Warder.
Yeah, I'm all for this. I think it's a great suggestion, Paul. I just want to throw into the conversation a mix that there will be a casino, a full-fledged casino somewhere here on southwest side. And I wonder how that's going to impact these local gaming terminals. And the gamblers can go to a major casino with entertainment and everything. Will that draw off of these machines?
If I can answer that, I feel it won't have much impact because gaming is unfortunate.
I don't think so. It's convenient.
And the people, not everyone likes to go to a casino. Like, if you look at our top gaming places, it's just like a neighborhood place where, for example, a woman who might not want to go to a bar alone and game, she might feel very comfortable going to a gaming cafe, during the
Jedi.
daytime.
Yeah,
Or
I see
a
that all the
restaurant.
time.
So
Jedi.
I don't think, so anyway, I'll open it up for more discussion.
I know, Paul, I know we had this discussion, I think, a couple of years ago, trying to figure out how we would get the operators to pay more money. And they're predicted some way I mean, I think that they split any fee 50-50, right, with the establishment. So we'll say if we charged the operator, 10,000, it would actually end up costing the establishment 5,000.
I'm not sure I understood your question. Can you do that one more time?
I think the last time we were discussing this about raising the fees on the operator.
Right.
That they have somehow protected themselves in Springfield by that any fee that we would charge them, it would be split 50-50 with the establishment, like with the local tavern. And I think that prevented us the last time from trying to do something.
I don't recall that. I think what we've been asked to look at this time is, one was how to tier the taxing or the licensing of the machines, the sticker for the bill, what we're proposing on the 6th machine. The second part is looking at the operator, and I think that's what.
It is, yeah, the licensing fee.
And I think what we're talking about there is, we think Kevin Casey's come up with a way, he's talked to me about it, but, you tell us the amount, and we'll come back to you with an idea.
Well, I think at 10 million.
Well, Tim, to your point, I was going to say, I think it's the opposite. What I think is going to happen is any fee we pass to the establishment, these terminal operators are going to say, no, we'll take care of that for you with our 10 million.
Yeah, but I think we had this discussion before, and there are some law that was passed by their lobbyists in Springfield protecting them.
Well, I
from
think that was when there was 2 or 3 golden childs. Now you'll see we have 7, 8. There's more competition, and they're constantly being, chased.
And they're buying each other up. Right? I'm sure when this company goes public, the first thing they're going to turn around is buy
gobble them
number
all.
4, 5, and 6 on the list.
Yeah.
Right, so
what they want are the.
So it means even less money because you'll have the one operator.
Per establishment.
Per establishment.
That's how we want to get it.
That's how you get them, per establishment, right.
So we presently have 192 machines in 39 different locations. This potentially, if we vote to approve a 6th machine in Oak Lawn, that could potentially add another 39 machines out there. And, why not just change the structure of 5 and make, the same financial corrections to the licensing of it and not have another 39 machines. I don't know. I
think we've already been prostituted.
Yeah.
They're already there, Mayor.
Horse is out of the barn, huh?
What difference is one more?
The ATM machine doesn't count as a machine? Right next to all 5 of them?
Spits out money my way.
You put that down the hall.
Yeah.
Give me some direction to come back with an ordinance, I can draft it and circulate it.
Okay. Is there consensus then to use Paul and Tom's template, or?
From the
are
legal
those-
perspective, anyway.
Yeah, look at
Change
that
the-
legally and then, okay.
I have one question.
Trustee
When
Ward.
can we go to the 6th machine? Was there a date that the legislature?
Well, the gaming was, governor signed the bill, the gaming expansion bill and casino bill.
A couple weeks ago.
June 28th, so I believe it's 60. I'll have to go back and look at it. There's something in 60 days, so there's something
Okay, so
August
it's within a
27.
short period of time. It's
Yeah,
not
the
January
clock's- The
1st.
stock clock's running. The governor signed the bill. So the gaming expansion bill was executed by the governor. He signed it on June 28th.
Okay.
Is Excel Entertainment going to show up and?
Well, they're welcome to attend any of our public meetings. Okay, there's no vote to be had on that. Item 8.
I will work on something to bring it back.
Thank you, Paul. Any other discussion on that? Okay, village clerk's report.
A is approval of semi-monthly disbursements, number 2019-12D, dated June 25th, 2019, in the amount of $1,615,226.02.
Thank you very much. May I have a vote on 18A, please, motion?
Motion to pay the bills.
Oh, okay, trustee Mallow,
Second.
seconded by trustee Desmond. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mello?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. B is approval of semi-monthly disbursements, number 2019-13D, dated July 9th, 2019, in the amount of $311,794.60.
May I have a motion on 18B, please?
Motion to approve.
Trustee Vorder made that motion, seconded by
Second.
trustee Stalker. Any discussion?
Can I just need to point one thing out to the board. In that 8,000,003, there's a lot of debt payments. So what the board is approving is the wire transfers that went out last month because those debt payments were due. So that's why the number's so big. I just want to make sure the board understands that. So usually when we send our disbursements out, we get pre-approval from the board, but because they're debt payments, that's what's in that.
Thank you. Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Motion passes. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Village President's Report, number 19A is ordinance 191343, an ordinance amending Title 3, Section 6 of the Oak Lawn Village Code pertaining to liquor license classifications. May I have a motion on 19A, please?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Trustee Vorder made that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I'm going to give it to trustee Stalker. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. And I just want to extend my deepest condolences to the St. Gerald family on the loss of Father Malcolm. Alex said it best, true gentleman, and what he's done for the community is hard to quantify. So, very sad news. Item 20, Executive Session 2019-06 for the purpose of discussing number 1, pending litigation, number 2, information regarding the employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of a specific employee of the village, and 3, approval of closed meeting minutes for 2019-05, dated May 28th, 2019. May I have a motion on item 20, please?
Motion to approve.
Trustee Vorder made that motion.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Mallow. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Motion passes. It's 9:31.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to clear the room for executive session.